Folks, when I tell you the fish rots from the head, one only has to look at what is happening inside the United States military. The commander-in-chief is a pandering wuss who is demanding his top generals join him in the weakening of the United States military. The question becomes, how do you take one strong, vibrant leaders of the greatest fighting force in the world, greatest fighting force we've ever seen, and turn them into pansies? What you do is you threaten their careers, because generals become politicians and they don't like losing power. You demand they either get on board or they'll be fired. Look what happened to the commander of the Space Force. They fired Lieutenant Colonel Matthew Lohmeyer when he bashed critical race theory, this idea that everything America does is steeped in racism. That sent a message to all top brass in the military. Team Biden's warning was this: do not cross us, as we fundamentally try to transform the military from battle-tested warriors to pawns in a social experiment. How else can you explain the Joint Chief defending the destruction of our military?
It is important that we train and we understand, and I want to understand white rage, and I'm white, and I want to understand it.
Racism is alive and well in our country, and I can't be under any illusions that we don't have it in our Navy.
And to rid our ranks of racists and extremists. The job of the Department of Defense is to keep America safe from our enemies. But we can't do that if some of those enemies lie within our own ranks.
Well, all those comments are clearly meant to save their jobs. Under President Trump, it never would have been tolerated what they're doing now. He called out the Biden administration's liberal lunacy being pushed on our military this weekend at CPAC. Here's President Trump.
Weak military, they fight against the military, always fighting budgets, military. We need strong military right now, so strong. And having rebuilt the U.S. military is one of my greatest achievements. It was a sick and tired military.
You know, I would argue that it took President Trump all 4 years there to build the military back to the point where we wanted it to be, and it is only taking weeks for Joe Biden to rip it apart with this, quote, so-called woke nonsense. Well, joining me now is retired U.S. Navy Captain Tom Burbidge. Also with us, U.S. Army veteran and Republican congressional candidate in Texas, Wesley Hunt. Tom, Wesley, great to have you both on the program.
Happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Grant. Good to be here.
Wesley, let me ask you first. You graduated from West Point, an unbelievable institution that I'm so proud of as an American, but I'm being told this kind of thinking is infecting now cadets at West Point.
You know, I'm very proud to be a West Point graduate, and in my opinion, it is the leading leadership institution of the entire world. And I can tell you that I entered the military at a time of war. I'm a West Point graduate class of 2004, and I can assure you that we were not concerned with the color of one's skin when we left West Point. We were concerned with being the best warfighter we can be to ensure that our fellow soldiers to our left and to our right made it home safely and made it home alive, and we were proficient and agile in how we did our job. That's the only thing that really mattered to us. And we got to be really careful with what we are going to teach to our future generation of warriors. It's not about race. It's about proficiency. It's about maintaining the meritocracy that is our United States military. And I think this is actually an ultimate effort to defund our military. We see this push to defund the police along military lines. We've seen this push for critical race theory. Now they're going after our military. It's got to stop.
Well, defunding the military would be absolute lunacy when we have enemies who've admitted they want to blow us off the face of the earth. Tom, let me ask you, what do you see as the big danger in Joe Biden's path of teaching this so-called woke nonsense to all of our members of the military?
Well, Grant, the Naval Academy and West Point and Air Force Academy are three of the best institutions in the United States for developing future leaders, not just for the military, but for government and for industry. And I think their track record stands for that. My group thinks of the Naval Academy as just a small step in the process of life. You have the best and brightest high school kids waiting to get in. You have the enrollees that are there today. And you have this very large group of alumni and graduates. And there's concern across all three of those ranks. I agree completely with what Wesley said. I think he described it quite well. And we're concerned that the warrior culture is being maintained, that there's not distractions that are coming in through curricula that may or may not support that. We're looking to try and increase awareness to what's going on. That may be the biggest challenge we have. There's a lot of people that are not aware of what's going on today, both in terms of the military and in terms of the service academy. So it's important that we watch that.
That is clearly what we're trying to do on this program, of course. Wesley, I want to ask you, your time in the military, how big a problem, as a black man, how big a problem was racism for you?
It really wasn't, to be honest with you. And as a black man and as my brother, who was also a black man, who's a West Point graduate, and my sister, who's a black woman, who also is a West Point graduate, served 23 years and retired as a lieutenant colonel, I can assure you that we fought next to our brothers and sisters in battle, white, black, Hispanic, Asian. That doesn't matter when you're in battle. And this is what I want America to understand, that we as military people actually don't see it that way. And while we are certainly flawed by the human condition, by biases and schemas, the military is a meritocracy. But I view this as the left's push toward communism and toward socialism in this country. And I tell you one thing, it's very easy to vote our way into communism, but it's impossible to vote your way out of communism. If they can break our military, then they can break our country.
That is a great point. Real quick before we leave, Tom, I know you've been studying this issue. What can we at home, what can Stinchfield's Army, as I like to call our viewers here, what can we do to help fight back and raise awareness? Real quick, if you could.
Well, there are bodies that are responsible for oversight on all service academies in terms of what they're teaching, what their morale is, how their culture is. Those bodies have all been stood down. So people can use their voices and talk to their congressmen and get those bodies stood back up, put some attention on the problem.
Well, I appreciate you both coming on this program and calling attention to it, and I certainly appreciate both of your service to this nation. Thank you, gentlemen. We'll see you again real soon.
My pleasure. Thank you, sir. God bless you.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, where real news for real people.